What's up, world? It's the one and only Pop DBICV Primetime Capper, and this is Primetime Angles Extra. And reason being is because we have a special guest with us today, another great prospect here in the boxing world, and he got his home state going crazy of Tennessee, and it's none other than Tyler Tomlin, but his friends affectionately call him Ty. So what's going on, Tyler? How's everything going? Everything like that? I mean, Ty. I'm so sorry. I don't want to get jabbed.
No, you're good. You're good. Most of the time, boxing is Tyler Short Fuse Tomlin, so Tyler, whichever one works. But everything's going good. I got this fight coming up on August 28th, so I've just been killing it in the gym, staying ready to go.
Where did you get the name Short Fuse from?
Yeah, that actually
Like
came
that.
from my amateur career. A lot of people joke about it all the time, just speaking to me and everything else. They don't see me have any type of anger issues or anything like that. But in my amateur career, when I would be in fights, anytime I got caught with a good shot or anything, I just immediately light up and start coming forward with power, volume. So everybody always said I had a short fuse, and it just kind of stuck with me, and now it's become a whole branding thing.
That's awesome. That's awesome, and that's great that you know about branding as well too. A lot of young boxers, they think they have an idea how it works, but as long as you listen and things of that nature, you should be fine in this world. As I always say, you know what I mean. So, I see that you fought 80 amateur fights, won 65 of them. And how was that experience? And did you ever think about going to the Olympics, since we do have the Olympics going on in Tokyo right now?
Yeah, that's definitely something I thought of when I was younger. Always wanted to do, but by the time I turned to 18, and obviously it was good with what happened with COVID and everything else, things getting pushed back. But I just wanted to go pro. I always thought I had a very good fight style for professional fighting, and it's turned out to be that way. I've got the power for it, and that shows a lot better in those 8-ounce gloves than it does the big gloves that you use in amateurs with the headgear and everything else. So I just thought my style would be more fitting for the pros. And so that's why I went pro and what I'm doing now.
And it's always good to be able to pay rent before pay those bills, man.
Yeah.
Be still young about it, all that stuff, and be a little bit more responsible and everything like that. Growing up just a little bit quicker than the others, but hey, it is what it is at the end of the day. But I just wanted to ask, because I saw that you did have a vast amateur career, and a lot of people, are always thinking about the Olympics and everything like that. Now you're from Tennessee. Now, what part of Tennessee you from? I want to get it. I want you to go ahead and let the people know, and pretty much.
Yeah. So I'm close to Nashville for sure, but we're actually right outside of Nashville. It's a little county called Cheatham County. I live right between Pleasant View and Ashland City. So I'm close to Nashville. Everybody wants to say Nashville, but I want to always give credit to where I'm actually from, which is Cheatham County. It's an amazing area with great people. It's beautiful out here. I love it. The boxing scene isn't as big as somewhere like Vegas or some of the Floridas and things like that. So that's why we travel to those states, get great sparring in. But we also have some good sparring here with some quality guys.
All right, so pretty much that's good to hear and everything like that. And where have you sparred at? Have you been able to get to where I'm at in California? I'm actually in LA myself.
No, I haven't been able to go out there and spar yet. That's definitely on the list. I've been down to Houston, Texas, going to Bobby Benton's gym. I went out to Tampa, Florida. My co-manager, Peter Fernandez, he lives out there, so he lined up some good sparring there. And I'm actually about to take a trip to Vegas. This is going to be my first Vegas experience. So Vegas, one of the big pinnacles of boxing. You got so many pros that live there, so I'm excited to get some quality work in there.
All right, man. Make sure you get some work in with my man Aleem as well, too. He's
Yeah.
on your team and everything like that, right?
Wait, which Aleem? The one that just fought or the one at 122?
Oh, little Reese, right? Yeah. But you got to make sure you get some time in with him. He's a very good boxer, and he can show you a couple things as well, too. Now, do you have a specific place that you're going to be training at? Do you already know?
Well, that's kind of what we've gone back and forth with. There's a couple of gyms down there that I've been wanting to hit. Just whatever Mario says, he's going out. He's kind of getting our itinerary together. So whatever he lines us up with, hopefully we can hit as many as possible with the amount of days we're going down there. So any of them I can go to, I'll be happy to go to them and take any knowledge I can get.
Now, I see that your father actually opened up a gym with you as well, too. Is that correct and everything? I was reading your biography, and I think that's pretty cool and everything like that. Now, how's that experience like? And then bringing in all the local people, or maybe the people that are statewide coming on in and everything like that. How's that experience being around all your people?
Oh yeah, definitely. We used to do more of that. Right now, it's kind of just me and my dad, just because my career has taken off like it has. We focused on just ourselves. But growing up, though, we had 30, 40 people in a gym at a time, teaching different people. And I think that helped me learn a lot, just because you're seeing what other people struggle with. You're getting to spar with those people, pick up different things, see different styles. Everybody's got their own style. So that definitely helped coming up as an amateur, and I think it's helped me in my pro game as well. So just taking little bits and pieces of everybody, but now it's just me and my dad. He's focusing on me and my career. So it's definitely different having your dad in there. You got somebody that looks after you at all times, which is good. But there's definitely those personal battles between father and son in the gym.
Hey, that's life. You know that as well too, and you know how that situation usually works out and everything like that. But you've seen other father son duos do it so well. To just mention Tiafimo, senior and junior, they've done well as well too, and Sugar Shane and his father as well too. So it's always good to have pops with you, because he's gonna always know your best interest, especially early in your career as well too, because you don't want to be a guy running around having too many trainers and things of that nature. You want to be focused on the task at hand and everything like that. So, all right. So Tennessee, beautiful place. And I know, I'm going to mention this name. You're coming to where he lives now. What are your thoughts on Caleb Plant? And would you like to meet him when you're in Las Vegas and maybe get some tips from him as well too? Because he's a big Tennessee guy as well, just like yourself. And what's your thoughts on that, man? Getting with
Caleb's
that nature.
a great guy. That's actually who we started with when I was very
Okay.
young.
Okay.
That was actually my very first coach. Sorry, I'm charging my phone here. But that
It's
was
okay.
my very first coach, was Caleb's father. When I was about 9, 10 years old, I strolled into a gym down there, and Richie started training us and everything else. And obviously I saw Caleb get to develop, and a lot of other guys in the gym before that gym actually closed down. So love Caleb to death. Wish the best for him. Hopefully he can get that Canelo fight on the 18th. I saw some stuff about that today. Hopefully talks are continuing to go well. They can get a contract together to unify those belts.
And much love. Shout out to Richie Plant. That's my guy right there. We hung out a lot over at the it was a few years back, but it was the Pacquiao Thurman press conference where I was able to meet him at, and we had a great conversation and everything there. So Richie's my guy, man. 100 grand with him, and I always love to send a shout out. I love to hear him mention, because he is a good soul and he does know what he's talking about when it comes to the boxing.
Absolutely. Great guy, great coach. I actually got to see him pretty recently. I was doing some sparring around Nashville and Hendersonville with Austin Dulé, another PBC fighter, and he was in camp with them, and I got to see Richie and sit down and eat some dinner with them after sparring. So great to reconnect with them.
That's awesome. And I saw your record. I saw that you started with Lou DiBella back when you made your debut and everything. But from what I've been seeing is that you've been doing a lot of your fights at home, where you're comfortable at, but you're bringing out big crowds and everything like that. And do you feel that's what attracted PBC to your brand and everything like that, to move you forward to the next level?
Yeah, definitely. That's a big part of it, is being able to sell those tickets and being somebody that the fans want to come watch. I've got a very entertaining fight style. I'm all action. So being with somebody like Lou, who can put me on bigger shows and start to put everything together for my career, it's just incredible, to be able to work with him and sign to him now. So just continue to build that fan base and hopefully fight in New York by the end of the year on some of these bigger cards. That's what I'm waiting on next.
Sounds good, man. I can't wait to get back to New York as well, too. I love fights in New York and just love just having an excuse to go to New York City. I'm going to tell you right now, you'll love it as well, too. So, yeah, that's good to hear that you want to fight in New York City. You know where the pinnacle of boxing's at, and that's awesome. Now, lightweight division, where do you see yourself at in the lightweight division, or is this going to just be your division that you start off with and then you move on to the bigger divisions like 140, 147, and things like that?
Yeah, I feel comfortable at 135 right now. I don't see myself leaving it just yet. I had some fights at 140 in the beginning of my career just because we wanted to make sure weight cuts like that, as you start to grow into your man body, as we say all the time, we wanted to make sure that we could make the weight all right and it was safe. And I made it to 135 for the first time on the dot. I think my 8th or ninth fight. And I feel strong there. I'm big for that weight class at 5'8". So a lot of those champions are my size in that weight class. So that's kind of what I'm staying at right now. There's so many great fighters at 135, and I think I can be a part of a lot of those big matchups in the future. So stay there, and maybe as I get older, we can look at 140. Once again, that man body, as those muscles start to come in, everything else, put a little age on, it's harder to cut that weight. So you might see me get some titles at 135 and then move up to 140.
Sounds good. So pretty much, who do you see as the best of the best, and who do you have to say this is the guy that I had to set as the bar to get a little bit further than as well too?
Yeah, right now it's probably Lopez. I just don't know who's going to beat him at 35. Him and Gervonta are kind of neck and neck there. There's just so many big fights that I think we're about to get at 135, and I think that's going to help us dissect that a little more. But right now, somebody like Tefimo, who has done so much in a short amount of time, that's kind of who I'm looking at and comparing my skills to as I continue to try to grow and get to that level myself.
Now, what were your thoughts on the Josh Taylor Ramirez fight? And
Oh,
what do you
what a
think about
fight!
Josh Taylor?
Those fights are what's good for boxing. The best fighting the best, just like Tank and Barrios fighting, entertaining, high level. That's what boxing needs to get to the forefront of the sports world. And fights like Taylor and Ramirez, where two guys are just going at it, they're both great. You can see their skills throughout the fight. And Josh Taylor coming out on top, just putting together an amazing combination. And just, man, that's what boxing needs, and it's great to see. What a great fight, and just a great job at matchmaking there.
All right, and I know hopefully you saw the fight last Saturday. Who did you have winning that fight, honestly? And you can say it any way you want to. It's okay. Charlo Castaño, you were pop, so you good. So you can say it any way you
Castaño,
want.
yeah, as much as I love the Charlo brothers, I do. I love them to death. I love watching them. They're highly skilled boxers with a lot of power, and they're very fun to watch. But I do think the pressure kind of got to Charlo a little bit. And Castaño, I've watched a lot of his fights. That's what he continues. He pushes the pace very well and makes you fight his fight. And I think that made Jamel uncomfortable. And I did have him losing that fight. I know a lot of people are okay with the draw, and I am too, in a sense, except for that one scorecard, obviously, is where everybody kind of agrees that it was a bit much. I'm okay with the draw, but I did have Castaño winning.
Okay, so you had Castaño winning, y'all.
I did.
All right, so hey, your opinion is yours. Doesn't matter how they feel about it.
What did you think about the fight? Now I got.
You know what? I'll
You
be
think
honest.
Mel pulled it out?
I think that it was a draw. I had it as a draw myself. To be honest,
I'm okay with the draw, but the 117, 111 card, I believe it was, is the one that kind of. I don't know about that.
Right, and it's funny because by the 7th round, I kept looking at the fight. I said, "This fight's going to be a draw," and I said that, and I said I was not surprised at all when we heard the draw because it just felt too even. Even though Castaño did win a lot of the middle rounds, it was the championship rounds that gave Charlo that 114 score, in my opinion. I know the 117, 111, that was not something that everybody was ready for, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
There were a lot of close rounds in there that could have gone either way, but that's just kind of the way I was thinking of it. I'm, like I said, okay with the draw just because there were a lot of rounds that Castaño was hurt. And then towards the end there, Mel started coming out and winning those championship rounds, like you said. A draw or for Castaño for me.
Gotcha, man. Well, it's good to know that you had a winner.
Yeah.
You know, I would say
I had to give it to him. Just I thought he did enough. I know I don't think it's right, but a lot of people are like, oh, to take the belts, to be the champ, you got to go in there and really beat the champ. But to me, it's a fight, and whoever wins the fight wins the fight. I don't think of it necessarily like that. So just a slight favor towards Castano there, but great fight overall. Once again, those are the fights boxing needs. Continue to have fights like that, and the fans will come out.
All right, so we got a big one coming on the 21st of August. How you feeling about Spence and Pacquiao and this next one coming up?
I think Spence, obviously his fight with Garcia, he went in there, took care of business, looked good, used his jab great. But I think this is the first fight that we're going to see Spence back to 100%, maybe even better than the previous 100% that Spence was at. And Pacquiao, I know he continues to prove me wrong, but like age has to play a factor at some point, right?
Right.
But
Right.
he's just a great
right.
matchup, and once again, two top guys going at it. But I am definitely going with Spence, maybe by late TKO.
Mm.
I'm gonna give it to him. I think he can do it.
Well, we will see. You know, Errol does possess some power that can be game changing in the fight as well too. So we all have to really respect that element as well too. But we know Manny punches at all types of different angles. So you got a good chatter about a fight like this one, man.
Mm-hmm. Now,
So,
styles make fights, that's for sure. And these are two interesting styles to fight each other. So I'm excited to sit down and watch it.
and real quick, I'm gonna jump into the heavyweights, but I'm not gonna talk about the fight that was just postponed. Did you see the news today that AJ is gonna be fighting?
Yeah,
So, what's your early thoughts on that?
I think AJ probably gets him out of there, but it's going to be an entertaining fight for a while. I'm as entertaining of a guy as Usyk is. I'm almost more excited for the press conferences before the fight. You know, he is a character and puts on a show, so I can appreciate that. But I'm gonna give it to AJ. I think he takes this fight seriously because as much as he's got on the line for future fights, you know, coming up with Fury, as soon as that situation gets resolved with Wilder, and they get after that one, I think you're gonna see 100% for AJ, and he's gonna handle business in there.
All right, sounds good. Sounds good. All right, so I'm gonna get off boxing for a second. I'm gonna see you if you're a sports fan because I know a lot of boxing guys are like, "Oh, I'm a boxing guy. I'm not really into sports." But you look like you into some sports.
I'm
So
definitely into some sports. What kind of questions you got for me?
okay, so is it the Vols, Tigers, or the Commodores?
I'm closer to the Commodores.
Okay,
I can go to Commodores games all the time.
right,
But being from Tennessee, it's go big orange, and you got to go with the Vols, right?
right.
As many problems as we've had, we've got a new coach in here. Hopefully, he's an offensive guy, being from, where UCF.
Right.
So I think he can get in here, fix our offense. We've got some young quarterbacks that have some potential. So if he can put everything together, and I think we might have a good year. But it seems like the past couple of years we've been saying that, and that has not been the case. But as a Tennessee fan, I remain hopeful at all times.
All right. So what's your preference? Because I know y'all don't have a baseball team. So I usually do this with put them in the order that you love them in. So I'm gonna give you your NBA team, your
Okay.
NFL team, and your NHL team, and then you can throw in your baseball team there as well too.
Right.
But just give me the order that you want them in. We got the Titans.
Titans
we got
number one.
Titans
almost
okay.
Titans game.
All right, so the Titans are number one, and who wins out when it comes to the Grizzlies? And the Predators.
Yeah, Predators games are fun. I've been to a lot of them, but as far as sitting down on TV and watching them, I'm going to watch Ja Morant and my Grizzlies.
All right,
for
all
sure.
right.
But Titans games, I'm all for. Me and one of my family members, we always fly out to an away game. We try to go to every home game that we are at, like we can get to. So a huge Titans fan, and I'd love to make it to a Grizzlies game at some point. But we have a local team, the Nashville Sounds. I've been to a couple of those games. They're a lot of fun. I'm going to go to more of them soon, but never been a huge baseball guy. So I'm going to have to put them towards the end there, but still a lot of fun and just a great team around Nashville.
And I know it's either an Ohio team or maybe a Georgia team. So is it the Braves or the Indians?
It is the Braves. It's the
Okay.
Braves. Everybody around here is a huge Braves fan. Even our local sports radio, they make sure to update everybody on the Braves. So no major league team yet. I know they have talked about possibly putting one here just because Nashville is such a good destination for things like that. So maybe we can get a team that transfers here or something soon.
Hey, A's are looking for a home right now.
Hey, maybe.
Hey, you guys can start advertising for them if you want them. So, one last question. And I'm going to keep it on your Titans now.
All right.
What do you think your team is going to do this year? And do they get over 10.5 wins this year? I think that's exactly where they're sitting at because Julio Jones has brought some more, exposure to the team as well, too. Where do you see your Titans at? Where do you see them ending up at?
Oh, I definitely think we'll get more than 10.5 wins. I mean, I'd
Okay.
love to tell you we're going undefeated and going to the Super Bowl, but obviously we've got Derrick Henry, a Russian machine. Our offensive line is healthy again. We added Julio Jones. We upgraded our defense. Our defense is kind of our biggest question right now, right? Because we've got all these new guys coming in. We've got Bud Dupree. We've got all our guys drafted in the secondary. So it's really just how they mesh. Like, what kind of chemistry are they going to have? I think it's going to take a couple games to get together. But if we even have a middle of the road defense with the offense that we've got right now, I don't see a reason why we don't go to the Super Bowl.
Hey,
mark it now. You heard it here first. Titans in the Super Bowl.
And he said he got the Titans in the Super Bowl. You don't know if they're gonna win it, but they'll be there. So, are you old enough to bet when you get to Vegas?
I'm 21, so yeah, technically I
Okay,
am.
so first thing you do when you get to Vegas, whatever hotel you staying at, if you staying at the hotel, I know a lot of people like Airbnbs and everything, but I would say if it's your first time going to Vegas, I say stay at one of the hotels on the Strip so you can get a good idea of what Vegas is all about, and go right over to the sports book and ask them how much the odds are for your team to win the Super Bowl and the AFC, and put a couple coins
on that because I know it's going to cash.
Yeah, put a couple coins on them. Hey, even have them get the division because that's exactly what my show is really about: is sports betting and things of that nature. So I'm just giving you some tips. If you love your Titans, go ahead and bet the little trifecta on them that they'll take care of their business for you at the end of the year.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so I'm just trying to make you some extra money, brother.
So you're agreeing with me, is what you're saying? You think they're going too?
Hey, you know what? I love everybody and I love everybody's opinions. So pretty much, because in my business, every Sunday, as I tell people all the time, they say, ask who's your favorite team on Sundays. They're all my favorite team because one of them is going to give me some money.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Right. I do have my favorite teams. They're not good, but I try to keep as they say, simmer the expectations a little bit. You know what I mean? So it is what it is at the end of the day. But it was an absolute pleasure talking to you, Ty. I can't wait till we speak again. Hopefully that'll be very soon after your next fight and everything like that. Congratulations on signing your deal with Mario Serrano, who's the best in the business as well,
absolutely
too.
Best.
And,
great guy.
He's going to guide you to some great. He's going to guide you to greatness. So pretty much, I thank him very much for setting up this interview. I didn't know Ty was going to be this great of a guy. I can't wait to talk to him again, and hopefully he goes ahead, he gets his lightweight title and everything like that, and he remembers old DiBiase when he becomes a big, big, big star in the game.
Absolutely, I'm going to remember. What you mean,
all right,
man?
brother.
Hey, I'm available at any time. Anytime you want to talk, I appreciate you having me on, man.
All right, beautiful stuff. I don't want to hold you up. I know you're training. You got people to talk to, babies to kiss, things, all that good stuff. But with that, you guys make sure you check out Ty Tomlin. Give me your handles wherever they can get you at. Follow you, message you. See, follow your career a little bit more. Can we get your handles?
Yeah, absolutely. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter both at _Ty Tomlin. You can check out my Facebook at Tyler Shortfuse Tomlin. Make sure to go and like that athlete page. Don't have any YouTube or anything just yet. Maybe we can work on that here in the future. But follow all my social media. Keep up with me. I've got that fight coming up at the Oak Grove Racing and Gaming Casino up in Kentucky on August 28th. So just stay tuned. We've got a lot of stuff coming up. And once again, I appreciate you for having me on, man.
All right, man. I thank you for your time. And, man, you have a beautiful day. Until we meet again, hopefully that'll be very soon. And we'll be able to talk some more boxing and talk about your Tennessee Titans as well, too.
Sir.
All right. So I thank Ty so much for coming in on the Primetime Extra. So with that, we are done. And you guys have a beautiful day. And we are going to get to what we get to best, whatever that may be. And pretty much you guys stay tuning in and you guys follow Ty wherever he's at. And make sure you let him know that, yay, if you've seen him here, let him know that you saw him on the show and everything like that. And see if he'll respond to you and everything if you come with the right question.
That's right. Yes, sir.
Right. All right. So you guys have a beautiful day. And that is the PT Extras with my man, Ty Tomlin. And this is Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper. And I am gone.
From the East and the West, you've heard others